Hello students, this video is my continuation of my previous videos, that is on the blood vessels of the pelvis, true pelvis. In my previous video, I discussed about the description of the branches of the anterior trunk, okay, that is the visceral branches of the internal iliac. So, this is the classification of branches of the internal iliac. I have already discussed in my previous video. In my previous video, I talked about the visceral branches of the internal iliac, and these visceral branches are all from the anterior trunk. The superior vesicle, inferior vesicle, middle rectal, uterine and the vagina. These arteries are discussed in my previous video. In this video, I will talk about the parietal branches. Okay. So for visceral branches, please go through my previous video, and in this video, I will talk about the parietal branches. Now in the parietal branches of the internal iliac, it is from the anterior trunk and the posterior trunk. So first we will take from the anterior trunk. Which are the anterior trunk parietal branches? The obturator artery, the inferior gluteal artery and the internal pudendal artery. So these are the parietal branches which are arising from the anterior trunk of the internal iliac artery. Remember, obturator artery, inferior gluteal artery and internal pudendal artery. Clear? So first, this visceral branches I have discussed in my previous video. So first we'll go through here obturator artery. Okay, we'll go through the obturator artery. Now, when I have talked in my introductory chapter of the blood vessel, please go through the video. I have talked that obturator artery, okay, is a branch of the anterior trunk of the internal iliac, and it supplies the obturator internus muscle by reaching the obturator canal. So here we'll study the course of the obturator artery. Okay. Now this is the obturator artery. Okay. I will study it. So we'll go to the parietal branches. First of the anterior trunk. Okay. Now first is the obturator artery. The obturator artery, it runs forwards and downwards on the lateral pelvic wall. Okay, it runs forwards and downwards on the lateral pelvic wall, accompanied by the obturator nerve above and the corresponding vein below. Okay, so the obturator artery, it runs forwards and downwards on the lateral pelvic wall. So it is running on the lateral pelvic wall. It is accompanied by the obturator nerve. So if you see this, you can see here, this is the obturator artery. So this is the common iliac. It is dividing into right external iliac, okay, and the right internal iliac. This is the right internal iliac. So from the anterior trunk, okay, from the anterior trunk arises one parietal branch, which is the obturator artery. Yes, you can see here, this is the obturator artery. So it is running on the lateral walls. Okay, it is running on the lateral walls of the pelvis, and it is accompanied by obturator nerve and the vein. Okay. Now, what does the obturator artery, how does it proceeds? It then leaves the pelvic cavity through the obturator canal, and it divides into anterior and posterior branches around the margins of the obturator foramina. Okay. So what the artery will do? This artery, okay, it is leaving the pelvic cavity. It leaves the pelvic cavity through the obturator canal. So this is the obturator canal, and divides into this obturator artery. It divides into anterior branch and it divides into the posterior branch. Okay, along the margins of the obturator foramina. Okay, so along the margins of the obturator foramina, this obturator artery, it divides into anterior branch and the posterior branch. Okay, within the pelvis. Now it is leaving the pelvis through the obturator canal. But within the pelvis, the obturator artery, it gives branches to the urinary bladder. So within the pelvis, it is giving branches to the urinary bladder. So one more diagram here. This is the diagram of the obturator artery here. So you can see here, it is arising from the trunk, the anterior trunk. Okay, this is the posterior trunk, this is the anterior trunk. So it goes down from the lateral wall of the pelvis. It reaches the obturator canal. Okay, and in the obturator canal divides into anterior and posterior branch. Okay, now while passing through the pelvis, it gives branches to the urinary bladder, the nutrient vessels to the ileum, and a pubic branch. Okay, so while passing through the pelvis, the obturator artery will supply the urinary bladder, it will supply the ileum, and it will supply a pubic branch. Now the pubic branch runs over the pubis and anastomoses with the pubic branch of the inferior epigastric artery. So if you see here, this is the obturator artery. Here you can see this one more picture. You can see here, this is the obturator artery. See. Okay, this is internal iliac. So from the anterior trunk, one artery is coming. This is the obturator artery. Okay, this is the obturator artery. See, you can go. It is going down, and it is dividing into in the obturator canal. See, this is the obturator canal. It is dividing into anterior and posterior branch. Yes, this is coming from the lateral walls of the pelvis. You can see here very clearly on the lateral wall of the pelvis. See, it is going down, reaching the obturator canal, divided into anterior and posterior branch. So while passing through the pelvic area, it is giving branches. Okay, it is giving branches. So it is giving what branches? Giving branches to the urinary bladder, okay, which is just behind the pubic symphysis. Okay, it is giving nutrient vessels to the ileum. Okay, it is giving nutrient vessels to the ileum. Okay, and a pubic branch. The pubic branch, it runs over the pubis and anastomoses with the pubic branch of the inferior epigastric artery. Okay, so it will see, this is the inferior epigastric artery. So see here, down, down. This is obturator artery. This is inferior epigastric artery. So the pubic branch of the obturator artery, okay, it runs over the pubis and anastomoses with the pubic branch of the inferior epigastric artery. Inferior epigastric artery, I mentioned that near the end of the external iliac, you can see this is the external iliac. So near the end of the external iliac, there is one branch which is inferior epigastric artery. It winds over the ductus deferens and it will reach the anterior abdominal wall. This I have talked about in my previous video. So the pubic branch of the obturator artery, it anastomoses with the pubic branch of the inferior epigastric artery. Sometimes this anastomosis is so large that the obturator artery appears to be a branch of the inferior epigastric artery. So sometimes this anastomosis is too large. So sometimes you feel that the obturator artery is a branch of the inferior epigastric artery. Okay, so obturator artery is a branch of the inferior epigastric artery. It is then called the abnormal obturator artery. The percentage incidence of abnormal obturator artery is just 20 to 25%. Okay, so what we said, this is first artery we talked today is the obturator artery. This is the obturator artery which you can see. Okay, the obturator artery, it is one of the parietal branch of the anterior trunk of the internal iliac. So this is common iliac, this is the internal iliac. Yes, it's an anterior trunk branch of the internal iliac. It runs forwards and downwards. It is running forwards and downwards along the lateral wall of the pelvis. So this is the pelvis, this is the lateral wall of the pelvis. Okay, and it is accompanied by corresponding vein and the nerve. It leaves the pelvic cavity through the obturator canal and in the obturator canal it divides into anterior and posterior branch. So if you see this diagram, this is the obturator artery. In the obturator canal it divides into anterior branch and the posterior branch, okay, around the margins of the obturator canal. Now while passing through the pelvis, this obturator artery, while passing through the pelvis, okay, it gives branches to the urinary bladder, the nutrient vessels to the ileum, okay, it will give vessels to the ileum and also the pubic branch. Now this pubic branch of the obturator artery, it anastomoses with the pubic branch of the inferior epigastric artery. It anastomoses with the pubic branch of the inferior epigastric artery, okay, and sometimes this anastomosis is so large that we feel that the obturator artery appears to be the branch of the inferior epigastric artery, okay, but this is abnormal obturator artery and the percentage is just 20 to 25%. So this was about the obturator artery, okay. We'll talk about the next branch, okay. What is the next branch? The parietal branch. So the next parietal branch of the anterior trunk of the internal iliac is the inferior gluteal artery. If you remember, I talked about the inferior gluteal artery in my previous video, that the anterior trunk of the internal iliac, it just continues as the inferior gluteal artery. So I have shown here in my previous video. You can see here, this is the internal iliac, okay, this is the common iliac, this is external. So internal iliac, it continues as the inferior gluteal artery. You can see the anterior trunk, it continues as the inferior gluteal artery, okay. This is the anterior trunk, okay. This anterior trunk of the internal iliac, it later on continues as the inferior gluteal artery, okay. Now what they are saying, it is one of the terminal branches of the anterior trunk. It begins within the pelvis anterior to the piriformis muscle. So it is beginning in the pelvis anterior to the piriformis muscle between the first and second sacral nerves. Now you all know where is the piriformis muscle. You have done the pelvic diaphragm. So if you see here, this is the piriformis. Yes, you know this is the piriformis muscle. This is the piriformis. From lateral margin of the coccyx and fifth sacral is going down and getting attached to the greater trochanter, if you remember, okay, that is piriformis. Now this piriformis, the inferior gluteal, is within the pelvis, it is anterior to the piriformis. So in front of the piriformis is inferior gluteal between the first and second sacral nerves. So between the first and second sacral nerves is your piriformis. So if you remember, this was the origin of the piriformis. 3 digitations, that is S2, S3 and S4, passes to the ileum, posterior, inferior. Then the capsule of the SI joint, it is getting inserted to the upper trochanter of the femur. Okay, this I have already taught in my previous video. So the artery, that is the inferior gluteal artery, is one of the terminal branch of the anterior trunk. It begins within the pelvis anterior to the piriformis. It is anterior to the piriformis between the first and second sacral nerves. It leaves the pelvis through the greater sciatic foramina. So it will leave the pelvis through the greater sciatic foramina. That is about the inferior gluteal. Okay, to enter the gluteal region. Okay, so here we'll talk about the inferior gluteal artery again. Just see this. This is the internal iliac. You can see here the internal iliac. Okay, the anterior trunk continues as the inferior gluteal artery. Yes, this is the inferior gluteal artery. So inferior gluteal artery is one of the terminal branch of the anterior trunk. It is one of the terminal branch, the end branch of the anterior trunk. It begins with the pelvis. It is present within the pelvis. This is the pelvic cavity. Yes, this is the lumbar vertebrae. This is the sacrum. This is the ilium. Yes, you can see this, you can make it out. So this is within the pelvis. It is anterior to the piriformis. Now you can just see here it would be the piriformis. Yes, from S2, S3, S4 it is going back and it is getting attached to the greater trochanter. So this is the piriformis, as you all know. Okay, this is the piriformis. So it is anterior to the piriformis. Yes, you remember this is the sacrum, S2, S3, S4 coming down the fibers and getting attached to the greater trochanter of the femur. Yes, so this is anterior to the piriformis between the first and second sacral nerves. Now it will leave the pelvis through the greater sciatic foramina. So you see, this is the greater sciatic foramina. This is the greater sciatic foramina. So it is leaving the pelvis through the greater sciatic foramina below the piriformis to enter the gluteal region. So first it is anterior to the piriformis between first and second sacral nerves. It will leave the pelvic cavity through the greater sciatic foramina. Then it will go down below the piriformis and it will enter the gluteal region. So this is the course of the inferior gluteal artery. So this is the course of the inferior gluteal artery. Very clear? So first it is anterior to the piriformis, then it goes down, it leaves the pelvic through the greater sciatic foramina, it enters the gluteal region just below the piriformis. Okay? The next artery is the internal pudendal artery. It supplies the external genitalia. This is the artery which is supplying the external genitalia. Now, first entry to the gluteal region from the pelvis. Okay, so it is getting entry to the gluteal region from the pelvis. So, through the greater sciatic foramen. Then entry to the pudendal canal from gluteal region. Okay, to lesser sciatic foramen. And then passing through the pudendal canal in the lateral wall of ischiorectal fossa to the deep perineal pouch. So this was about the course of the internal pudendal artery. Okay, internal pudendal artery. Now first is from the pelvis, it just remember this way that internal pudendal artery is a internal pudendal artery is an parietal branch of the anterior trunk of the internal iliac. Okay, now internal pudendal artery, first from the pelvis it will enter the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen. Okay, now from the gluteal region, okay, it will enter to the pudendal canal through the lesser sciatic foramen. Okay, and then it will pass through the pudendal canal in the lateral wall of ischiorectal fossa to the deep perineal pouch. So from the pelvis it will enter through the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen. From the gluteal region it will reach the pudendal canal to the lesser sciatic foramen. Okay, and from the pudendal canal, okay, it will reach to the deep perineal pouch. Okay, so first it is in the pelvis and it will enter the gluteal region. It is the terminal branch and leaves the pelvis through the greater sciatic foramen between the piriformis and the coccygeus to enter the gluteal region. So this is it, the internal pudendal artery. You can see this is the internal pudendal artery. So this internal pudendal artery, okay, it is parietal branch of the anterior trunk of the internal iliac. This internal pudendal artery will leave the pelvis, okay, and it will enter the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramina. It will reach the greater sciatic foramina and it is between the piriformis and the coccygeus. So between the piriformis and the coccygeus, you know where is the coccygeus, where is the piriformis, this I have explained in detail in my video on pelvic floor muscles. So internal pudendal artery, this is internal pudendal artery. It's a terminal branch. It will leave the pelvis through the greater sciatic foramen and enter the gluteal region between the piriformis and the coccygeus muscle. Okay, so this way the pudendal artery is reaching the gluteal region. Now from the gluteal region it enters into the pudendal canal. After a short course in the gluteal region, the artery passes through the lesser sciatic foramina, crossing the dorsal surface of the ischial spine in relation to the pudendal nerve. So it will cross the ischial spine. Okay, it will cross the ischial spine. Okay, it will cross the ischial spine. So here you can see one more internal pudendal. It is crossing the ischial spine. Okay, so see, this is the big artery, internal pudendal. Okay, so internal pudendal, it is from the pelvis. Okay, it reaches the greater sciatic foramina. Okay, and it will reach the gluteal region to the greater sciatic foramina between the piriformis and coccygeus. Okay, and then this will enter from the gluteal region to the lesser sciatic foramina. This is the lesser sciatic foramina. Okay, after short course in the gluteal region, it will pass to the lesser sciatic foramina, crossing the dorsal surface of the ischial spine. So this is the ischial spine, crossing the dorsal surface of the ischial spines. Okay, and in relation to the pudendal nerve. Okay, then passing through the pudendal canal in the lateral wall of the ischiorectal fossa. It then runs to the pudendal canal in the lateral wall of the ischiorectal fossa. Ischiorectal fossa is between ischium and the rectum. So it reached the pudendal canal by running through the lateral wall of the ischiorectal fossa. So if you see here, this is the ischiorectal fossa. Yes, this is the ischiorectal fossa. Between the ischium and the rectum, there is a fossa. So here from the lateral wall of the ischiorectal fossa, there is running of the pudendal artery. Okay, reaching the pudendal canal. Okay, so it will reach the pudendal canal. Okay, and appears in the deep perineal pouch, and then it will reach the deep perineal pouch, and it divides into terminal branches: the deep artery of penis or clitoris and the dorsal artery of penis or clitoral. The branches in the perineum are inferior rectal, perineal branch, artery to the bulb of penis and vestibule, urethral artery, and the two terminal branches, the deep and the dorsal arteries of the penis. Okay, so what is internal pudendal artery? How it is going? Okay, so it's an artery which is arising from the parietal branch of the anterior trunk of the internal iliac. Okay, now it will from the pelvis. Okay, it will reach the gluteal region to the greater sciatic foramina. Then from the gluteal region, it will enter to the pudendal canal through the lesser sciatic foramina. Okay, and from the pudendal canal through the ischiorectal fossa, it will reach the deep perineal pouch. Okay, so this way I need. So internal pudendal artery. Okay, so the internal pudendal artery, parietal branch of the anterior trunk of the internal iliac. From the pelvis, it will reach the gluteal region via the greater sciatic foramen. From the gluteal region, it enters the pudendal canal through the lesser sciatic foramen, and then it reaches the deep perineal pouch by passing through the ischiorectal fossa. Okay, so this you remember this way. So it will pass from the pelvis to the gluteal region via the greater sciatic foramina and between the piriformis and coccygeus. Then it will enter from the gluteal region to the pudendal canal via the lesser sciatic foramina. Okay, and it crossing the dorsal surface of the ischial spine. And then finally it will from the pudendal canal, it will reach the deep perineal pouch by running through the lateral wall of the ischiorectal fossa, and then it will divide into deep artery of the penis or clitoris, penis in males, clitoris in females, or dorsal artery of penis and clitoris. Also in the perineum it gives inferior rectal artery, perineal branch, artery to the bulb of penis, vestibule, urethral artery, and two terminal branches, the deep and the dorsal arteries of penis and clitoris. So this is the main artery which is supplying the external genitalia. Okay. So this was about the internal pudendal artery. Just remember this. From pelvis to gluteal region, greater sciatic foramina via. From gluteal region to pudendal canal via the lesser sciatic foramen. And from the pudendal canal to the deep perineal pouch via the ischiorectal fossa. Okay. I'll continue the next artery in my previous, in my next video. Thank you, students.